All right. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Next Job Net. For session two of our interview series on startup stories, we have with us today Sayantan Biswas. Don't go by his age. He's rocking the student accommodation space with UniAcco, a venture he co-founded with Amit Singh. Through UniAcco, his goal is to eliminate difficulties such as uncertain home search, poor quality houses, unfriendly landlords, and unreliable brokers, so that students can have a hassle-free experience in booking their ideal accommodation. Welcome to the series, Anthony. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. I am really excited by looking at this amazing space that you're operating in. When did you realize that you wanted to get started in this, or you really wanted to get doing something on your own?
Right. So it was during my sophomore year, to be precise. So I was actually working with my seniors. So I had three of my seniors who are basically my mentors till today. So what they were starting in their life with startup. So basically, one namely is Digendra Singh Rathore. He co-founded and he was the CEO of Fella Homes. So I was working with him very closely, and actually I saw that yes, people I was not at all very much familiar with startups, what it used to be. So when I actually started working with him, I learned what exactly startup does. It's not a very convenient. So basically, a normal day business won't work like that. You're taking a problem, you solve it with the help of tech and different other things, right? So it was, I was very intrigued with that thing. So it helped me like shaping up what exactly I want to do throughout, because it was something that actually was my goal to build something or create or innovate something so that I can give something better to this humanity or the world. So basically, the productivity or the progressiveness, that's what we call it. And also, two more cool things come with that: be your own boss, right? So, and apart from that, so yes, that is
All
one
right.
part of it.
So, did IIT Roorkee play a key role into shaping the way you are and your thought process?
IT Roorkee, I guess, played the most important role in my uh, throughout my career and throughout my space, because it's always Roorkee has given me this platform which I always wanted to have, right? Any person would be lucky to have, I would say, right? So if you see, we have really great brains across all IITs, which people are doing all across the globe, doing something. So it was like, if you want to learn something, you can reach out to your seniors. I have been facing problems throughout, and I'll tell you, if I would have been not in IIT Roorkee, it would have been really impossible for me to build something from scratch or build something, anything for that matter. It's not impossible, but yes, I would face a lot of hurdles throughout. So it's like just a call away. My seniors, my juniors are also there, my peers, my classmates, branch mates. So any of the things you require, divide the whole journey into two sections. One is the selection of your college, your GMAT score or GRE score, whatever it is, then your country. These are all handled by the university
Yeah.
counselors, and that is the prerequisite that you can say before going to a different country. So now, if you see, there are lots of other things that also goes around apart from the college you have selected. So it's your visa, right?
Yeah.
It's your student loan, it's your bank account opening in a different country because you don't have a credit score, your accommodation most importantly, because if you see the whole journey and the amount you are going to spend over there, around 50% to 60% goes into accommodation. So you can't neglect that, right?
True.
So these are all the services that we plan to provide. So university counselors, there are plenty of it. If you see around Delhi or around Punjab or around Mumbai, there are plenty of university counselors. But how many have you seen who have a bouquet of all those services for a student specific goal? Because this industry is growing year after year. So today, if you see, going abroad to study was there, but it was more of a healthy kind of a thing where families who are wealthy enough to send this
True.
children to study abroad, right? But these days, career-oriented, focused students have started going abroad. So they want to learn everything. They want their so basically living their American dream or something like that, right? So people from middle class families have also started, where none of the family members might have not been to UK ever or might have not been to US, right? So there should be someone, right? That's what we can call ourselves, like local guardian to them, right? If anything
So,
happens.
were you the first mover in this space?
So no, we are not the first mover. There are different Indian companies who do that,
All
right?
right.
So we have competitors. So from India we have two,
Mhm.
and from rest of the world we have two, three other people
How
as well.
many countries are you providing up
So
student
currently we are
accommodation?
providing around 8 nations.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it's been 10 months into operation, and yes, we are providing in 8 countries, and we have around 350,000 beds on our platform right now.
That's great. I mean, do you have any people like the people operating who are helping you from different countries, say like London or
We
UK
have
or
we have teams in different countries.
all right. That's great. And just tell us about one day. What is a day like you for you in UniAcco?
So yeah, yes. So staying in India, working for the people in the European nations, a day basically starts late. I would start with that. So it's like when it's 2 o'clock over here, it's generally like 9:30 or 10 over there, right? So that is when we start. That is so it doesn't really end at 10. It generally during the peak season it stretches up to 1 or 2 o'clock at night. So that is one thing. So yes, I get up late. So then maybe start a bit with doing my personal stuff and everything. Then around 2ish. So I start with the senior my day with. So what they have there and what are the plan basically they have framed out for the whole day, right? And what are the action things that they feel that they want my suggestions or my basically go ahead, right? Those are all the things that I basically start my day with. Then I go with my department to department. So different domains I provide. You can say it's basically 2 hours I give each and every department the thing, right? Their tech, supply, accounts, finance, there are lots of it. So I start with my sales team because that is one thing they are the front runners, you can say. So better themselves, what are the challenges they are facing, note it down because sometimes what happens, sales is the main function that we believe is the main, you can say, heart of the whole company,
Uh-huh.
right? So all other functions are basically helping sales out to do more and more revenues or more and more bookings.
Okay.
So what are the kind of leads that they are getting, right? What are the qualities that they are being provided with? Any tech related problems they want me to solve it, right? So all those problems are getting addressed, and then maybe deliver some of the positive note, keynote talks and everything, so that they can sell better or maybe do something better,
Sales is
right?
how, like in what all ways? One would be tele sales, the other would be.
So basically, I would say not telesales. So if you see, it's not a complete inbound call that we are getting, right? So and neither we are making any outbound calls. So we students who have come and selected a property and they straight away want to book it.
Okay.
So we help them booking it. So it's not a call where they make a call and say that this property is good or are you looking for a property? No, the call doesn't do like that. So people already know about us, right? So basically it's like make my trip. You know you are going to travel and you know that this date you are going to travel. Any flights that is in your budget or according to your time duration, you just wanted to book, right?
Right.
So
Right.
same things for us, right? So yes, those are the things that I help them to manage those customer relationship thing. Then come to marketing. Then what are the things that we can do to target different set of audiences? So if you for India, it's more of a mom and dad kind of a scenario because they are the main stakeholders who take the who are responsible for the monies and everything, right? So they are responsible for everything and they are the key stakeholders. So we how to target them and also how to target the millennials, the people who are going. So a different approach to it, social media campaigns and everything. Then all included come to the tech team basically that what are the things we can help optimize the manual process. So coming from an IT background or a tech background, I always want more and more tech oriented things and people should be more optimized so that they can work more efficiently. That is one thing we believe in, and that is the main DNA that we have currently. If you see 8 nations and all the properties we have, it's all managed by a tech and only 3 people in it, right? So, and we the offices that we have, the leasing offices in different countries, they only handle the partnerships. Apart from that, each and everything, we sit over here in Mumbai in every country, and that too with not more than 30 people, right? So I believe tech is the main journey. So when you grow, you can't keep on growing with the number of people. Yes, people are definitely very much necessary, but yes, more and more tech gives you more efficiency and more growth in shorter span of time. That is one thing we believe. So yes, the day goes on like this, and we end with tech. And major portion of it, we give. I give 4 or 5 hours of my time to product development and tech. So that is.
And I mean, how has COVID, impacted your business or given you new opportunities?
So if you ask me, COVID for us has been a better time. So because our main focus or main market this year was UK and is UK, sorry. So it's like UK season
Okay.
starts after September. So COVID was more of a February, March kind of a thing. It's still going on. And I believe till September, if there is no second wave, we'll sail through. And will sail through significantly. And due to COVID, what has happened? Nothing has changed practically because any which ways we were operating out of India, and doesn't matter. We have to be in the same office. So each and everyone from home also can do as much work as they were doing, right? So nothing as such has impacted in terms of our employees. So basically, KRAs have not changed, right? And neither we have to fire anyone or we had to cut any salaries for the employees. That is one part of it. And also we are planning to hire people because we are going into the peak season. So July, August, and September are our peak season. So I guess UK has also opened up. Things in UK are looking better, not in India, obviously. That's a sad part. But yes, for our market, as UK is the main market, so in UK the numbers have gone down drastically. So we are believing that UK will shape up. So it's a good thing for us. So the number of inquiries have increased.
All right.
It hasn't decreased. So that is the main reason we have started hiring once again.
All right, that's good. Only I think one of the areas where you would be impacted is the people going, say, for the fall this semester,
Right.
like fall semester this year.
So one problem that I believe we'll face if there is a second wave and people, the students are not necessarily that they were planning to, or the country, right? And the whole thing moved to online. Then we'll face our
All
challenge.
right.
That is where we'll be facing a
So do
huge
you
crisis.
do you like plan on then diversifying from student ACO to just to a student like a fresh graduate ACO or somebody who's working?
So if you ask me, no, we are currently not planning to because it's a matter of a year, right? To be precise, and we have already calculated the worst part of it. So what exactly what the maximum worst thing that could happen to us is a complete shift, right? A complete shift is a very impossible kind of thing. I'll tell you why. So if you see during the world wars also UK didn't stop their colleges. I'll tell, right? So and till date nothing changes because we are a very insignificant player. Because if everything changes to online, there will be huge amount of revenue loss for UK because student accommodation is just a part of it, but overall higher education and offshore education, in UK is the third highest contributor to UK's GDP. So if you see, if that thing moves online, the whole complete economy of UK will shatter. So we are a very insignificant player to that. So it's like you can say all everything is messed up completely. So anything, any which way we can't do anything. So there are lots of employees which are in the universities, right? There are lots of so these purpose-built student accommodation providers, each and every provider that we work with, have a valuation over $1 billion. Imagine that industry going. We are a kind of a million kind of a thing. Very insignificant. So that amount of risk coming to the industry will see huge amount of massacres. So I don't think that they are going to do that, such kind of thing.
So what apart from COVID have been some of your major challenges that you've faced? that you've faced? I think from 2018 is when you started, right?
So yeah, so 2019 I would say. So
2019, all right.
in terms, so getting my team together, that was first challenge that I faced. Because if you see today, so these are all my batchmates basically. Nikhil, who handles tech, is also from IIT Roorkee. He was working for a YC-based startup, cash free, and he was also in the senior position over there, right? He was holding a senior position. So Abhishek Sharma, he's my college senior from IIT Roorkee itself, and he was working with Marcel Sokrati, and which is again one of the largest digital marketing platform, and he was also in the senior most position over there. And then rest of the people who are also from my batch, so they were not ready to take that amount of risk. So it was the funding that played the role. So apart from that, yes, bringing all those minds together in one place was first challenge that I faced. Then secondly, the mindset. Mindset is very important when you run a startup or when you start a startup. The mindset. Each and every one we have previously worked for someone else, right? So it's more of an employee kind of a mindset rather than a founder or maybe a stakeholder kind of a mindset. So it's like I'll have to define the role, they'll do the work. No, that doesn't work in a startup, right? It's more of like you know your own responsibility. You are the key stakeholder. You decide what to do, and you do it before time. Because you're also a very important part of the organization. Each and everyone is important, right? In a startup from a day zero kind of a thing, each and everyone does the work that they have never done in their life, right? So so that is one mindset challenge that I had to change throughout. So that is still there, but I'm trying to figure it out. Right? These two are the main challenges.
All right. So what are the, I mean, like you mentioned out a few positives and negatives of working in a startup. Would you want to expand a little bit on that?
Okay.
Or
Positives, I would say a lot. There are lots of things to learn. So definitely. So I am not a coder, but I definitely know so how to work on different products, what are the softwares required for it, and how to to become you can say uh, how you can strategize your whole product for the future, right? Create a vision out of it, and also the different segments or different domains you have. So you keep on learning those segments. I have never learned marketing, but throughout the journey, I am learning marketing, right? I have never learned anything about sales, but yes, I have done sales. I have done product development. So yes, still I am learning because there are always every day. So every day you are learning from your peers. So there are lots of people that right? They have done their work and they are very pro at it. But along with them, I am getting to learn what they have learned throughout, right? That is one experience. So, and different employees and different other people also get to learn that because they are involved in each and every department of the startup, right? That is one very big pro, I believe. Instead of that bookish knowledge, sometimes you need practical knowledge to get, right? So that is one thing. Until and unless you don't work, you don't get that amount of knowledge. So yes, after that, obviously you need more knowledge to read and learn. But yes, and the main challenge you can say, there are lots of it. The cons of a startup is a responsibility. For example, for me, I have faced that responsibility of 35, 40 odd people, right? Their families, their household, and everything are dependent on you. The way you bring this company, the way you take this company forward, right? How what they will learn, how they'll grow, and everything. So that is one thing: the responsibility and self-discipline, which I never had, frankly speaking. So self-discipline cause something because of you, people will also learn from you, right? So that self-discipline you'll have to be there. So you'll have to gather, and then lots of people don't have. So running a company is never easy, I would say. So that is one thing I would say, that lots of extra added responsibility at a very young age is something that helps you mature throughout. So yes, these are the things.
that,
Apart from that, yes, challenges, product wise and everything, there are lots, plenty of it. I don't know how many you would have time to listen to that, but yes.
No, but I think you highlighted the major ones, and even in the negatives, you slightly very nicely said that okay, this is really essential for our overall professional growth. So it's a good picture that has been painted. What are your plans for the next 5 years? Where do you see this the trajectory for UniAcco?
So for 5 years, I was going through that question. I would say uh, 150 odd million people,
Mm-hmm.
serving 150 odd million people, around 195 countries, serving in, you can say, 30 odd major countries where we would have a supply, and become a unicorn, obviously. That is one part of it. And also, we are also currently researching about being not only a marketplace, but also an operating company in India as well as in different parts of the world. Also, so you can say there are different segments to it, so that each and everything you have the domains and the ancillary services that we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about today, that I am taking a third
Yeah.
party help. So we want to build it an in-house platform for the same.
Alright.
And industry, I believe, is moving towards student accommodation and
Hmm.
student services.
So then it won't be really B2B oriented then. Then
Right,
it'll be B2C.
right.
Then you'll have to figure out how to get consumers, I mean, more consumers on your platform.
Exactly. It's under one umbrella. We'll have different set of companies providing different set of services.
That is interesting.
So yes,
So,
post-COVID, these things all have also changed majorly and drastically.
okay.
Instead of seeing face to face, when I can have a video call with you and solve all your problems, why do you need to come to my office, right?
Hmm.
And if I am a service that is being provided out of Mumbai and someone from Calcutta or someone from a tier 2 city or tier 3 city wants that, he or she shouldn't be abundant to it, right? He or she doesn't need to travel to a metropolitan city to get that service.
Right.
And Geo is making it possible. So, yes.
Interesting. So, I mean, with your experience in your own venture, what advice would you want to give to people who are out there to start their own ventures or already working for startups?
So, okay, out there to start, I have seen people who think this is a problem, let's solve it, right? So, definitely do or address those problems and try and solve it. But one thing they forget is really what people do. Really, people need that amount of thing. Are we market ready? That is the first question that people should ask themselves before solving a problem. Survey. Do a survey. Are customers ready to buy your product? If they are not ready to, then what are you making them? I agree that there is a problem and you are trying to solve it. But if people are not buying it, then why are you making it? At certain point of time, that bubble will burst. That it's not a game of valuation always, right? It's about customer orientation, and customers are the end products. If customers are there and people, I'm not saying you have to go to 1,000 people and let them buy. No, 5 people are ready to pay for your services, then you're doing the right job, I would say. That is one thing they should keep in mind always. They forget that. So what people do these days, and lots of startup founders I have seen have done through that, gone through that path, they have developed everything, right? So they say that we have developed a beta version of it, we have developed an alpha version of it, they have done everything, right? When it comes to a revenue generation, now they're struggling. So why pivot after that? Pivot after you survey, then develop a product.
So, how many did you survey for UniAcco?
Sorry.
How many people could you survey for UniAcco like before starting?
So before starting UniAcco, I myself faced this challenge, and I know a lot of people who face the same challenge, right? So not only survey, I know people who were actually struggling after the university counseling is done.
Hmm.
It was all my students from IIT. They knew about tech, right? So they knew about the platforms. So they told me, because of this platform, I got this thing. And they are also not charging. I was like, how come they're not charging? So then I read about the whole industry. I asked all my juniors and my seniors if something of this sort can be done. Lots of my seniors were actually, and lots of my batchmates also. So there's this thing called Erasmus or exchange student
Yes.
program, right? Every friend of mine struggled. every friend of mine struggled to find a place because it's not easy, right? How many days will you stay in an Airbnb? It's for a month. Then it's very costly also,
True.
right? So they faced the same problems and they told me, I heard about it. I then worked for a domain and a company that was doing also the same thing, same kind of a thing. Then I decided, why not go on a full-fledged way and give the bouquet of services that they want, not only accommodation. So if you see, so accommodation, I figured out that accommodation is one part of it. But today, not only accommodation, I'm doing surveys and I'm talking to every other people who are booking an accommodation through me that did they face any challenge while applying for the visa? They say yes. They didn't know whom to go, right?
Mhm.
Did they face a problem? So if you see, going to London is very easy,
Yeah.
but going to Loughborough University or going to Aberdeen, which they haven't even heard of, none of the people they have met who have been to Aberdeen. How to go there,
True.
right? Concierge services, how to get a SIM card, and everything, right? So those are very basic challenges, and I want keep someone going to study, focus on your studies. Rest of the things will take care. That is one part. Yes.
Great. I think this more or less gives me a sense of so many, like the variety of things that you've had to do and really come up with a very sturdy product, I would say, which is out there to last in the market. And also your goal to be that big in 30 countries, your presence by 2025 is really inspiring. So I wish you all the luck for that. Another thing, I mean, do you hiring, what is it that you really look for in a person before hiring?
So it depends on which domain and which position I'm planning to have. So there are two things. One are the thinkers, other is the doers, basically, right? So for the senior positions, I want thinkers more
Mm-hmm.
who can come up with strategies of their own, right? Develop, apply, and bring us results. I want each and every employee or every person who's working for UniAcco, basically, come up with brilliant ideas because each and every person is capable of doing so, right? So that is the thinker part of it. And then I want the junior people who are here to learn, right? Basically, I want them to be a doer and see, watch, and then learn. So basically, for hiring, when I go for a sales associate, right, I see whether he is able to talk properly, whether he has a presence of mind or not. Because students can ask any kind of questions, right? Those are not a part of your training courses, right? Or you have never learned. So the presence of mind matters a lot. Doesn't matter which university you come from, doesn't matter which class or which class 11th or 12th student you are. So anything, any work you have done, right, or you are a pro at it, so you can come and join UniAcco. That is what I believe people should be focusing on, rather than if he or she is not from IIT, doesn't mean कि मतलब you can't come and join for UniAcco. Any college and anyone can join, even if he or she is a dropout as well. So the main thing is you should know that what kind of job role it is, and you know the work, and you can grow throughout, help others learn, and are able to learn. So yes, nothing as such. To be precise, hunger to learn basically.
That's, I think, the most ideal way of hiring out there. So thank you. So I think with this, we kind of understand the journey you've been through and what are your goals in the future. And thank you so much for answering all the questions so patiently. Uh, and thank you for being with us today. We to all the people who are listening to us, thank you. You can drop in your questions to us if there's anything that we missed out. We'll write it back to Sayantan and hopefully respond with the amazing answers the way he did. We at Next.net are an alumnus backed startup. We're happy to inform you that we'll be launching our recruitment portal very soon. And our recruitment portal would be India's first social networking portal dedicated to startups, with the likes of what Samson is doing today. So just thank you for attending, and thank you so much, Samson, for being with us today.
Wish you all the best as well.
Thank you so much.